I recently turned 31, and by the age of 30, I became a millionaire. And these are 19 money tips that I want anyone below the age of 25 to learn right now. And if you can get these down pat, you will, in my opinion, be on track to become a millionaire before you're 30. And if you're only 16 right now, you could potentially become a millionaire before you're even past the ages of 20. Basically, anything is possible if you understand how money works and how to use it to best serve yourself. And if you don't know me already, my name's Connor and I make videos here on YouTube each and every day about wealth, money, cryptocurrencies, and the overall market so you can stay fully up to date and make informed decisions with your own personal investments. Let's jump straight into this. So rule number one is pay yourself first. And by this, I mean if you work for yourself or you work on a salary, you split it as fast as you possibly can into savings and investments and into your spending money. The spending money comes your day-to-day money, your rent, your food, your gas, all of that sort of stuff. And the rest is for savings and for investments. Make sure you get rid of the savings and investments before anything else. That way you won't be dipping into those throughout the months. Maybe you see something you like, maybe you buy that extra coffee, whatever it is, we want to avoid spending our savings and our investment money because that is where the key to becoming a millionaire and financially free comes from. Step number two is having a 6 month to a year emergency fund. For me personally, I think a year is great if you plan to set out on your own within the next few years. If you want to set out to create your own business, your own dreams, company, maybe an influencer platform, anything, I think you need around a year's backup. That way you don't need to worry about your living expenses for a significant amount of time and you can go into deep focus mode for months on end and don't have to worry. That's what worked personally for me. And when I reached that point was when I resigned from my job. Number three is using a budget when it comes to splitting up your money. And a lot of people use the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of your money goes into your needs, rent, gas, food, yada yada. 30% goes into wants, so you spend on whatever you want, and 20% into saving and investments. As your income increases, you can actually increase the percent. Right now, I personally save and invest over 90% of the money that I make because that 10% covers everything else. But if you are making less money currently, the 50-30-20 rule could work well for you. Personally, I spent way less than 30% on my needs. Maybe it was around 10%, and I saved and invested the rest of that money, especially during times of a recession or a bear market. This extra saving and investing can pay off significantly well in the next few years. Step number four is dividing bonuses or extra money that you get. So let's say you get an extra bonus at work. It's divvying that bonus into, again, fun, investing, and saving. However you want to do that is up to you. You can do it in 3/3 or however. Personally, what I would do is invest that whole amount. But you can split it up however you like, but make sure you stick to it and you give this priority. Tip number five is whenever you make increased monthly revenue, you stick to the percentages that we spoke about earlier, your needs, your wants, and your investments and savings. Number six is always try to avoid high interest debt. By that, I mean credit card debt, not something like a mortgage. How I divvy those up is good debt and bad debt. Good debt is a debt that you take on to actually buy yourself a cash flowing asset, like a property that you rent out month to month. Bad debt is like buying a car on a credit card that you can't actually afford. We're going to talk about cards a little later in this video. Tip number 7 is if you have an employer, make the best of their retirement plans while you still can, if you plan to stay with that company for a long time. And on that same note, making the best of tax efficient investing accounts in your own country. For example, in the US, you got a 401k, you got a Roth IRA, and in the UK, you have your ISA account. So look into those. Now, something recently that I looked into is what you should do when you're buying a car. I personally bought another car for myself, and I wanted to make sure that I could afford it. So this rule is the 24-10 rule. And what it means is you can put 20% down of the value of the car. You get yourself a 4-year loan if you're not paying in full cash. And that 4-year loan costs you less than 10% of your monthly income. Do not go over this 10% because it may become a real headache if in the future you fall on hard times. But remember, we do have a full year's worth of backup. And remember, in one of the earlier tips, we spoke about that full year of cushion in savings for us to rely on if anything bad happens. Next, start to shift the way you think about saving and investing and almost marry them together. Once you have your savings for 6 months to a year, whatever you think is the best, I would then start to invest even more into my long-term investments. A perfect example of a good long-term investment is the S&P 500. This is something you don't need to worry about if it goes up fast or if it goes down. You simply dollar cost average into this over most of your life, and then in that way, you're slowly compounding your money. And when we're in a situation like we're in right now in a recession, you're still buying, and that way you can make the best of what has always happened after a situation like we're in today is a boom cycle. Now, of course, this time might be different, but my own personal investing plan for my long-term investments is blue chip stocks, Bitcoin, and the S&P 500. Of course, you guys can find your own options out there, but those are just examples of what you could personally look into. If you did want a brokerage account and you are in the US or Australia, there is a link down there to Moomoo, and you can get up to 15 free stocks right now just from depositing as low as $100. And if you did want to sign up to one of the best crypto exchanges in all of the land, there's a link down there to Binance where you can get up to $600 of a welcome bonus. And Binance I have been using for over 5 years and I have never had one single issue. So I highly suggest that platform if you are both experienced and new to crypto. Now, moving on to my next tip is before spending any large amount of money, wait 24 to 48 hours and see if you still want to make that purchase. That's something that's really helped me when it comes to impulse buys, both with long-term investments and with things that I just wanted. Like let's say a car or a watch or some little gadget. One of those things, just wait those 2 days and you will find that most of the time you don't actually want it anymore. And with that tip, it moves me on to my next one, which is spend money when you have it. If you have some money and you really do want something, don't pinch every single penny. Of course, make sure you have paid yourself first, like we spoke about at the start of this video. But if there's something that you want, go out there and buy it, because what is money for if it's not for having fun, life experiences, travel, all of that sort of good stuff. Now, the next tip is very important in my opinion. It is don't be scared to spend money on something that could make you money in the future. This is something that I was very worried to do when I took my own personal steps towards building my own brands and my own businesses. I was very reluctant to actually spend any money. I wanted to skimp on every single thing imaginable, finding websites like Fiverr, but choosing the very cheapest options, and all of those will not get you very far. You have to pay higher prices in order to get good quality returns. In my opinion, not skimping out when you're trying to build a business is very important. Don't be afraid to invest both in yourself and in your businesses. And my final tip is value time over money and value experience over material things. Now, what I mean by that is we only have a very limited amount of time here on this earth, so value the small things in life. If you have the opportunity to hang out with friends and family, of course you don't need to do that every waking moment of every day, but don't miss out on life experiences just because you're trying to build a business. A lot of businesses we do right now are online, and you can actually make a point of starting your business with the purpose of it being online. So for me, for example, I can travel anywhere in the world at any notice that I need. For example, if I need to go to a conference or a friend invites me on holiday, I can leave at a moment's notice, but I know that I can bring my work with me, and no matter where I am on the planet, I can still do what I need to do to keep my businesses running. So start your businesses with the idea of being able to do them from everywhere, and I think you'll have a much more fulfilling life going forward. With that said, I hope that I did provide you with some value today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.